That's right, you're rocking with Rastafari King David, Rasta Man Daoud, Adam Tael Daoud, the Father King, giving it to you live and direct. Happy Juneteenth. If you're just tuning in, thanks for tuning in. Love to see you. Let me make sure I got my music straight, though. That's not sounding right, y'all. I gotta do a better job of that, y'all. Gotta make sure this music is proper, like, so I get the right effect. But today I'm going to be talking about Juneteenth and the lies my teacher told me. Yeah, thanks for tuning in to your boy, Rastafari King David, Rasta Man Daoud, and the Adam L. Daoud, the Father King. And today I'm going to be talking about the Juneteenth celebrations, if you're not familiar. Juneteenth was the 19th of June. Previous week was Flag Day. Going to be talking about a little bit more about Flag Day. And also coming up, it's the summer solstice as well. So it's a lot of holidays and annual events taking place right now. And also, don't want to forget about Father's Day. So I'm going to be addressing some of the lies and misconceptions that you may find in American history. And, you know, I'm basing this on truth, love, and righteousness. Before we move further, we're going to give thanks to the Most High, and we're going to make sure that we move in truth, justice, balance, and righteousness. Righteous means righteous acts. And some of the lies that I'm gonna be going over today, or things that you might want to be a little cognizant of, whether Columbus discovered America. There's an explorer called Desoto, and they say that he discovered the Mississippi. We got George Washington, Hellen Keller, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and Andrew Jackson identified as heroes, which wasn't exactly the case. Betsy Ross created the Star-Spangled Banner, which was not proven. The Democrats love black people, allegedly. The Bill of Rights, they created the Bill of Rights out of nowhere and shared it with us. Remember, all of the things I mentioned now have not been confirmed, and I'm of the school of the fact that they are just not true. Another thing, it says that United States is a democracy. It's not. United States is a country. It is not. And Washington, D.C. is America. It is not. So that said, those are some of the ideas and topics that I'm going to be addressing in this feed. And I'm going to be using the books that I'm going to be using. Hey, listen, you gotta get the books and decide what they're saying to you on your own. You know, a lot of times somebody will give you information, making it secondhand information. You gotta make the information part of your own. That said, I got the Book of Hopi. This was pretty good. That one's pretty good. I like this one, and it talks about the natives of North America, and it puts it forward like they're tribes, and it was all types of tribes in the Americas before the advent of the Europeans. America was and always has been a cosmopolitan place. There are all types of people in the Americas, and it has always been like that. Okay, so also I got Black Indians. You know, I'm telling this broadcast for folks that are seeking or that are interested in this information. And if you're interested, Black Indians is a fantastic book. They're talking about look, there's LL Cool J with his copy of it in the back of the book. We got, I mean, it's so many major names in here that you would be familiar with. We got a John Mercer Langston. We got a Wilson Bill Pickett. I think they make mention of why is his name escaping me? But the creator of the rodeo was a black man. This dude was bad. Hear me? He was bad. I want to say I don't want to say the wrong word, wrong name, but Bill Pickett. That's right, Bill Pickett. Bill Pickett is the man. He created the rodeo. You know, like when you see the dudes jump off the horse and grab the horn, the bull by the horns and snatch him down. First dude that did that was Bill Pickett. Was amazing. There's another shot of Bill Pickett. I'm a fan, but I'm looking for my main man here. I know it's a picture in here somewhere. And we're talking about the Black Indians. The Black Indians. And this is by William Lawrence Katz. I think there's a couple of versions of the book. The dude that wrote it, he's Caucasian, but he's sympathetic to the cause. We got a Stagecoach Mary. Dulaney, I'm not familiar with him. Oh, this is my main man. This is what I was checking for. And that is Bass Reeves. Bass Reeves was one of the baddest cowboys in the West. And he was the original Lone Ranger. Yeah, the Lone Ranger with the mask and riding the horses and shooting the colts. That was a black man by the name of Bass Reeves. He was so bad he was never even shot. Brought in 3,000 collars. Used to roll around with the double coats and silver dollars. We walk around passing out silver dollars. You want to check that out. That's the Black Indian book from William Lawrence Tate, and it's fantastic. Also, we got They Came Before Columbus. Listen, if you be one, you gotta have a copy of this book on your shelf. It's a requirement. And then also, this is from Sertima, Ivan Van Sertima, and that's a fantastic read. Got another one, the Atlas of the North American Indian, and this one, they give you a lot of details and a lot of facts. However, just like in a lot of what I'm sharing with you, when they present it to you, it's a lot of sleight of hand type of things that you would never notice if you didn't know to look for. An example, when they're speaking of the natives, when they're speaking of the tribes and showing you the pictures of the tribes, they show you the pictures with the current state lines in them, meaning that they're showing you a current map of the United States with all the states, but giving you information that was 400 years ago. That's a little shady. Because what happens is if you're looking at it from modern eyes, then you receive it based on how they present it to you, as opposed to how it was. And they do a lot of that. That's part of the conversation I'm having with you, is the fact that they'll take something, repackage it, and then sell it back to us for a profit. Okay, we got this one right here. This is Nation to Nation. The white, check out the flag. Check out the flag. We're going to be talking about the flag in a minute, or momentarily about that. But check out the flag. This is a book of the treaties in the Native American Museum in Washington, D.C. It's a nice trip if you know what to look for when you go into the building. And one thing that we miss is that we are natives to the United States. No, not the United States, I'm sorry. We are native to the Americas. So when they have a Native American museum, that's our museum as well. However, when you go in there, it's all fluff. It's all pretty pages, pretty colors. And this book kind of represents that. It's real glossy, but they don't really get into the meat and potatoes of the book, because it's, again, talking about the treaties that the natives made with the Europeans that they always broke. They don't mention that here in the book. They just give you the treaty. They don't tell you what caused the treaty, the people that were involved. Sometimes they give you the people involved, but they don't give you the details and how the treaty was broken. You see a lot of that in American history. My favorite is the Indigenous People's History of the United States. This is from Roxanne Dunbar-Ortiz. I'm not familiar with the writer, but I can tell she's of color, and she's speaking from an experience standpoint, not an observer standpoint. And last but not least, we got The Lies My Teacher Told Me. This is from James Lowen, and he's a real sympathetic character, and he did a good number of research on this one. And I think this might be the third copy, if I'm not mistaken. But he's addressing the issues of brainwashing that comes out of the public schools in the United States. And in doing so, he's saying these are lies that his teacher told him. So I'm going to share some of the contents with you. It says, handicapped by history, the true importance of Christopher Columbus, the truth about the first Thanksgiving, Gone with the Wind, and how Gone with the Wind brainwashed people, Abraham Lincoln, Big Brother, and a whole host of other things. But let me see if I can find something good in here to share with you. Oh, before I get to that, so you may ask, I got a lot going on over here. I'm sorry. I apologize for being all over the place and whatnot. But look, check this out. See that? Check that out. These my pyramid stones. I got them from Egypt when I was in Egypt doing the initiations in the temples and whatnot. Got some Egyptian stones. Also, part of the reason why I'm going through all of this is because they just made Juneteenth a holiday. And it resonated with me when they made it a holiday, because I remember the conversation about Martin Luther King and how they didn't want to give him a holiday either. So I was in school, and they was like, we're not sure if we're going to make Martin Luther King birthday a holiday. I was like, okay, well, let me check out this dude Martin Luther King. Check him out, see what he got going on. Looked into him. As far as I can tell, he was talking about peace, love, and holding hands and dreams and whatnot. But they blew his head off for that. I was like, damn, well, let me see that. Well, let me see. That seems like he should want to have a holiday, seeing as how, me and him got the same name. I kind of like the dude, so I'm going to celebrate the holiday whether they do or not. But same week, no school on Monday. Why? It's Columbus Day. Oh yeah? Let me check this dude Columbus Day out. Columbus out, because I got a book at the house on there and whatnot. So what did he do? He discovered America. Wait, what? I was like, oh, wait, what? Y'all can't be talking about the same guy, because the dude that you talking about crossed an ocean and ran into a set of people on the other side. He did no discovering. He got lost on the open ocean and found some people on the other side, but they telling me that he discovered America. Okay, let's see what my man has to say about that. It's some other books. I mean, like this is the debunk. A nice debunk. Being a little bit cordial and whatnot, but I don't have that same compunction, and I feel really resentful when people lie to me and don't tell me the truth and insult my intelligence. And I feel like regular education insults your intelligence. So he's saying the true importance of Christopher Columbus. Columbus is above all the figure with whom the modern age, the age by which we may delineate these past 500 years, properly begins, and in his character, as in his exploits, we are given an extraordinary insight into the patterns that shape the age at its start and still, for the most part, shape it today. But also, history is the policies of the victor. That's coming from William Buckley Jr. And then another one that says, in 1493, Columbus stole all that he could see. That's from traditional verse that's been updated. It says here, the one date that every school child remembers is 1492. And sure enough, every textbook I surveyed included it. But most of them leave out virtually everything that is important to know about Columbus and the European exploration of the Americas. Meanwhile, they make up all kinds of details to tell a better story and to humanize Columbus so readers will identify with him. The authors of history textbooks have taken us on a trip of their own, away from the facts of history into the realms of myth. They and we have been duped by an outrageous concoction of lies, half truths, truths, and omissions that is in large part traceable to the first half of the 19th century. A factor affecting Europe's readiness to embrace a new continent was the particular nature of European Christianity. Europeans believed in a transportable, processing religion that rationalized conquest. Typically, after discovering an island and and encountering a tribe of American natives new to them, the Spaniards would read aloud in Spanish what came to be called the requirement. Here is one version, and they're talking about: I implore you to recognize the church as a lady, and in the name of the Pope, take the king as the Lord of this land and obey his mandates. If you do not do it, I tell you that with the help of God, I will enter powerfully against you. I will make war everywhere in every way that I can. I will subject you to the yoke and the obedience of the church and to his majesty. I will take your women and children and make them slaves. The deaths and the injuries that you will receive from here on will be your own fault and not that of his majesty nor of the gentlemen that accompany me. That's coming from the Spaniards when they came and took over the Caribbean. And that's the justification that they use. He's saying that it was people in the Americas before the Europeans. American history textbooks promote the belief that most important developments in world history are traceable to Europe. To grant too much human potential to pre-Columbian Africans might jar European American sensibilities. The Africans were in the Americas just like we was around the world because we're indigenous to the planet. Then he also goes to recognize Vasco da Gama because something came from his discovery or something like that. I'm a little confused on that one. From Eric the Red to Perry at the North Pole to the first man on the moon, we celebrate most discoveries because they were first and because they were white, not because of the events that flowed or did not flow from their accomplishments. In this way, students learn that black feats are not considered important while white ones are. Christopher Columbus introduced two phenomena that revolutionized race relations and transformed the modern world: the taking of land, wealth, and labor from the indigenous people in the Western Hemisphere, leading to their near extermination, and the transatlantic slave trade. Transatlantic slave trade, which created a racial underclass. As as yet Having as yet found no fields of gold, Columbus had to return some type of dividend to Spain. In 1495, the Spanish on Haiti initiated a great slave raid. They rounded up 1,500 people, then selected the 500 best specimens, of whom 200 would die en route to Spain. Another 500 were chosen as slaves for the Spaniards staying on the island. Among them were many women who had infants at the breast. They, in order to better escape us, since they were afraid we would turn to catch them again, left their infants anywhere on the ground, and started to flee like desperate people. And some fled so far that they were removed from our settlement of Isabella 7 or 8 days beyond mountains and across huge rivers, wherefore from now on scarcely any will be had. He's saying that the slave trade went the other way. It started in the Americas and they kidnapped people from the Americas and took them to Europe. Beyond the acts of individual cruelty, the Spanish disrupted the native ecosystem and culture. Forcing natives to work in mines rather than in their gardens led to a widespread malnutrition. The intrusion of rabbits and livestock caused further ecological disaster. Diseases new to the Americans played a huge role, including swine flu, probably carried by pigs that Columbus brought to Haiti on his second voyage in 1943. Not, but 1493, I'm sorry. Some of the people tried fleeing to Cuba, but the Spanish soon followed them there. Estimates of Haiti's pre-Columbian population range as high as 8 million people. When Christopher Columbus returned to Spain, he left his brother Bartholomew in charge of the island. Bartholomew took a census of native adults in 1496 and came up with 1.1 million. The Spanish did not count children under 14 and could not count the people who had escaped into the mountains. Sale estimates that a more accurate total would probably be in the neighborhood of 3 million. By 1516, according to Benjamin King, thanks to the sinister Indian slave trade and labor policies initiated by Columbus, only some 12,000 remain. Thus, nasty details like cutting off hands have somewhat greater historical importance than the nice touches like Tierra. Columbus not only sent the first slaves across the Atlantic, he probably sent more slaves, about 5,000, than any other individual. Lies my teacher told me. They did a census in Haiti before the slave trade, and it was 1.1 million adults. They didn't even count the kids. After the slave trade, 12,000 people. I gotta calm down. I gotta calm down. This is pissing me off. Angry black man. Don't, it won't break now. Now that we're not doing the angry black man thing. What you need to do is internalize this information, make it your own, and make moves to change it. Make moves to change it. Don't tell me it's bad, because I already know it's bad. You're not doing me any favors. Don't virtue signal to me. Do something about it. Please. Because the Indians died, Indian slavery then led to the massive slave trade the other way across the Atlantic from Africa. This trade also began on Haiti, initiated by Columbus's son in 1505. We got something coming from John Locke. He says, in the beginning, all the world was America. Depending upon their political persuasion, some Europeans glorified American Indian nations as examples of simpler, better societies from which European civilizations had devolved, while others maligned them as primitive and underdeveloped. In either case, from Montesquieu to Montesquieu and Rousseau down to Marx and Engels, European philosophers' concepts of good society were transformed by the ideas from the Americas. Okay, so what happened initially, and this always happens, they'll come, see the civilization, and be impressed with the civilization, and admire the people that created the civilization, but somewhere along the line, they start getting jealous and envious. So now they want what the other people have. So after they become jealous and envious, they create means and ways where they can jack the culture, take the supplies, take the women, take the virtue, take everything from them and leave nothing. It is always useful to think badly about people one has exploited or plans to exploit. Modifying one's opinion to bring them in line with one's actions or planned actions is the most common outcome of the process known as cognitive dissonance. That means you got two conflicting ideas going on in your mind, in your spirit. I'm a good person, but I want their stuff. That's a conflict. So, in order to stay a good person, you externalize that conflict to the other person, meaning that I'm a good person. You're not a good person. So it's my duty to take from you because you're not a good person. That's cognitive dissonance. Almost half of all major crops now grown throughout the world originally came from the Americas. Yeah, that's right. I'm a Native American, and I'm proud of the place, man. I'm not too sure about the government though. No sensible Indian person, wrote George P. Horse Capture, can celebrate the arrival of Columbus. Yeah. The term "the New World" is in itself